Welcome back to the deep dive. So today, we're going to be jumping into this whole X outage thing that happened on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
You remember, right?
Yeah.
It was like, over 1.6 million reports on Down Detector?
Yeah, that was a big one.
It was a big one.
You don't see platforms that big going down every day.
Yeah, definitely not.
For that length of time, no way.
Right. And so, of course, Elon Musk, he was pretty quick to kind of point fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Blaming hackers in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Even going so far as to call it a massive cyber attack in an interview with Fox Business.
I saw that.
But
not everyone's buying it.
The cybersecurity world is kind of like,
There's a lot of skepticism.
Yeah, I would say so.
A lot of skepticism.
Yeah, and, for good reason.
And for good reason.
Yeah, Professor Sharon Martin, the former head of the UK's National Cybersecurity Center.
Oh, yeah, he's not shy.
Yeah, he didn't mince words.
No, he does not.
He called Musk's explanation wholly unconvincing and pretty much garbage.
Straight to the
I know, right?
I like that guy.
So, yeah, it kind of makes you wonder then, what really happened?
What really caused it?
What caused this outage?
Well, a lot of the outage patterns point to something we've all seen before. A distributed denial of service attack.
Oh, DDoS.
DDoS attack.
So for those of us who don't, live and breathe cybersecurity.
Yeah.
What is that?
What is a DDoS attack?
Yeah, and how could something like that take down a tech giant like X?
Yeah, so imagine a flash mob, but instead of dancers, it's a whole bunch of internet traffic.
Okay.
Hackers bombard a server with so many requests that it overloads.
Okay.
So think about it like trying to cram 1,000 people into a tiny little elevator.
So it just jams
and
up?
It just gets completely overloaded.
Exactly. It jams the whole system up and blocks anyone else who's legitimate from getting through.
Oh, so it's basically like, when you're trying to get on your favorite website and all of a sudden it's just not loading.
Exactly.
It's just like completely jammed up.
You can't even get the page to load.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Digital locusts.
But you would think a company like X, they've got the money, they've got the resources.
Right.
You would think that they would have defenses against this kind of thing.
Well, and they do.
Right.
They absolutely do.
They're not like a mom and pop shop or something.
But DDoS attacks are nothing new. This is an old technique.
That's what's so surprising.
The fact that X, with all of their resources, went down for that long from what looks like a DDoS attack, that's what's surprising.
Yeah.
And that's what's got everyone talking.
Yeah, they're kidding.
So if it wasn't Ukraine, as Musk is claiming, then who was it?
Right, exactly.
Well, the thing about these attacks is that tracing them back to the source isn't easy.
Why is that?
Because hackers are smart.
Oh.
They'll hijack devices all over the world and create these networks of what are called zombie computers.
What?
Called a botnet.
A botnet, so they're just using other people's computers to launch the attack.
Right, so someone sipping a latte in Paris could unknowingly be part of an attack on a server in Silicon Valley.
So you're saying, like, my computer right now could be part of a botnet?
Potentially.
And I wouldn't even know?
You could be part of a botnet and not even know it.
That is kind of scary when you think about it.
Yeah, it's a little unsettling when you realize how connected we all are and how that can be used against us.
Yeah, no kidding.
So Alp Talker, the director of NetBlocks, which monitors global internet connectivity, he's actually weighed in on this.
What do you say?
He says the patterns they saw during the X outage are consistent with a DDoS attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it was targeting X's infrastructure.
So maybe not some super sophisticated attack from Ukraine, but more like just someone being a jerk.
Yeah, kind of like digital vandalism on a massive scale.
Okay, but why X?
Right.
Like compared to Facebook or Instagram?
Right. Why are they so vulnerable to these attacks?
Yeah, is it something they're doing?
Well, they seem to be particularly susceptible to DDoS attacks compared to other platforms.
Why is that?
That's the million-dollar question, and a lot of security folks are scratching their heads over that one.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Remember back in 2023 when that hacker group, Anonymous Sudan, basically held X hostage?
Oh, yeah.
They took it down in multiple countries.
To try to force Musk to launch Starlink in Sudan?
Exactly. Launch Starlink or else.
Wow. So they were able to just take down X in multiple countries just like that.
They brought X to its knees.
Just with like a keyboard, essentially.
And they weren't some shadowy, well-funded organization.
Oh, really?
2 of the ringleaders were arrested in 2024.
What?
Yeah, so these attacks can be launched from anywhere.
So it could be like, some guy in his basement.
With the right tools and know-how, yeah.
Wow.
It really is kind of the Wild West out there.
Yeah, if you're finding this whole deep dive as fascinating as I am,
Oh, it's wild.
make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on other deep dives into topics like this.
It's important to stay informed.
And these attacks are on the rise, right?
Yeah, Sian John, the CTO of NTC Group, she's actually warned about a sharp rise in attacks like this.
And she would know, right?
She's a cybersecurity expert.
She's in the cybersecurity world.
She would definitely know.
So if she's saying they're on the rise.
Anyone with an online presence is a potential target.
Wow.
So think about that.
That's a little scary.
It is a little scary.
Yeah.
So we all need to be aware of what's going on out there and how to protect ourselves.
For sure. So what can we do?
Yeah, what can we do?
That's the question.
Well, that's a great question.
I'm glad you think so.
And it's one we're going to delve into.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Stay tuned.
Awesome. It's like anyone can just launch one of these attacks now.
Right. All you need is a Wi-Fi connection and a grudge.
That's pretty wild.
It's kind of unsettling.
But what I find really interesting about all of this is that with all the technology and all the advancements that we have today, something as simple as a DDoS attack can still bring a company as big as X to its knees.
You'd think they'd be more resilient, right?
You would think.
But complexity doesn't always mean strength.
Right. It's like that old saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yeah, except in this case, it's not about size, it's about vulnerability.
That's a good point.
And it makes you realize just how much we rely on these platforms and how disruptive it can be when they go down.
It really is kind of like losing access to electricity or something.
It's a service we all take for granted.
We really do, until it's gone.
Until it's gone.
Yeah, so it makes you wonder what we can do to protect ourselves.
Yeah, what can we do?
Both companies and individuals.
Well, companies need to invest in robust cybersecurity, no question about it.
So what does that look like?
Strong firewalls,
Yeah.
intrusion detection systems,
Okay.
regular testing, and making sure they have a plan in place for when things go wrong.
So basically having a good defense.
Absolutely, but it's not just about the tech.
What else is there?
You got to train your employees.
Ah, the human element.
Yeah, make sure everyone's aware of the threats and how to avoid them.
Because, I mean, you could have the best security system in the world, but all it takes is one person clicking on a bad link in an email.
Yeah, human error is a big factor.
So what about individuals?
What can we do?
What can we do to stay safe online?
Well, awareness is key.
Okay, what does that mean?
Be mindful of the websites you visit, the links you click, the information you share.
Okay, so be careful what you click on.
Yeah, don't just blindly trust everything you see online.
Good advice.
If something seems fishy, double check who sent it, hover over links to see where they go, and for the love of all that is good,
What?
use strong passwords.
Oh, yeah, the passwords.
Make them unique for each account.
But how do you remember all those?
Password managers,
What's that?
they generate and store strong passwords for you, so you only need to remember one master password.
Oh, so it's like a digital vault for all your passwords.
Exactly.
That's actually really smart.
It's a lifesaver.
Okay, what up?
Two-factor authentication.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Enable it whenever possible.
What does it do?
It adds an extra layer of security by requiring a code from your phone or email in addition to your password.
So even if someone gets your password.
They still can't get in.
Okay, that makes sense.
It might seem like a hassle, but it can really make a difference.
So be aware, be cautious, use strong passwords, and enable two-factor authentication.
That's a good starting point.
Good digital hygiene, essentially.
You got it.
Speaking of good habits, if you're enjoying this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel
We appreciate the support.
so we don't miss out on future episodes.
And you don't miss out on valuable information.
But it kind of feels like with cybersecurity, it's like this constant arms race.
It is. The threat landscape is always evolving.
So how do we stay ahead of the curve?
It is. The bad guys are always coming up with new tricks, new ways to exploit vulnerabilities.
So how do we stay ahead of the curve then?
Well, for starters, we need to change the way we think about cybersecurity. It's not just an IT issue.
It's everyone's problem.
Exactly. It's a business risk, a societal risk, a personal risk.
We all need to take it seriously.
We really do.
It's like we're all in this digital boat together.
Yeah, and we all need to make sure it doesn't sink.
That's a good analogy.
We need to have a plan in place for when things go wrong, because they will.
Oh yeah, they definitely will.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
That's a good point.
So we need to be prepared.
Okay,
We need to have a plan,
got it.
and we need to work together.
Well, this has been an eye-opening deep dive, for sure. I feel like I've learned a lot about cybersecurity and the threats we face and what we can do to protect ourselves.
It's been great talking about this with you. It's fascinating how something so technical can have such a big impact on all of us.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's not just about ones and zeros anymore.
All right, so let's recap.
Okay.
We talked about the X outage.
Right.
We debunked Elon Musk's claims about Ukrainian hackers.
Yeah, the evidence just doesn't support that.
Right. And we explored the whole DDoS angle.
The digital traffic jam.
Exactly.
That brought a giant to its knees.
And we talked about the rising trend of these attacks and what companies and individuals can do to stay safe.
Right. It's a shared responsibility.
It really is. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
You know, what really stands out to me is that even with all the technology we have, something as simple as a DDoS attack can still cause so much disruption.
That's wild.
It really shows you just how important cybersecurity is for everyone.
It's not just about protecting good corporations anymore.
It's about protecting ourselves.
Absolutely. So it's like a reminder that we're all connected.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
And we all have a role to play in making the digital world a safer place.
That's a great way to put it.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you found it insightful, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into topics that matter. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe online.